In a moment, we're going to be joined by Argentine reporter Eugenia Muzio from Perfil, a news outlet down in Argentina, who's broken some significant news on this American bailout of Argentina at the expense of American farmers, and in particular, the role of hedge funder Rob Citron in lobbying Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, himself a former hedge funder, in enacting that bailout. But first, we wanted to check in on Argentinian President Javier Milei and see how he's responding to this bailout. Okay, all right, there we go.
He's doing great.
All right, to give a little bit of context, if you haven't been following our reporting on this, let's roll D3 to show the kind of different reaction that American farmers are having to this bailout.
Well, the stopgap needs to come because they've kind of painted the farmer in a corner. I mean, I want trade, not aid. I need a market. I need a place to sell this stuff. I can work hard enough and make a product. If you give me some place to sell it, I'll take care of myself. But they've painted us in a corner with this China deal and China buying no soybeans. I mean, they've tore our market in half. I mean, if you take the 4 years prior to Trump's first tariff war, the average price of a bushel of soybeans is $12.54. The average price for the 4 years during Trump's first tariff war is $9.39. That's a $163 an acre swing to the minus. The next 4 years after the tariff war, the average price is $13.59. That's a $218 upswing. Now we're back to $10.21. I think the board is today. My local elevator's $9.79. So I'm at $172 an acre loss. I mean, the farmer can't continue to produce a crop below the cost of production, and that's where we're at. And we don't have anywhere to sell it. We're in a tariff war with China. We're in a tariff war with everybody else. I mean, where do they want me to market this stuff?
All right, joining us now is Eugenia Muzio, a reporter from Argentina who's been doing a lot of work on this case. And so for people not following along, so the Trump administration started its second trade war with China. China responded by telling the United States, but we're not buying any of your soybeans. Most of the soybeans that the United States grows go to China. That's a huge problem for American farmers. The two main competitors to the United States are, when it comes to soybeans, are Brazil and Argentina. Brazil selling enormous amounts of soybeans over to China. Argentina struggling economically big time. All of a sudden, they get a lifeline from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in the form of a $20 billion bailout. Immediately, the Argentinian government cuts its export taxes, and then they sell enormous amounts of soybeans to China at a much discounted price, infuriating American farmers. But it turns out, according to the reporting down in Argentina, that American hedge funds played a significant role in this. So, Eugenia, can you tell us a little bit about Rob Citron and the role more generally of hedge funds in helping to bring about this kind of catastrophic situation for everybody?
Well, hello to everyone. Yes, well, that policy that Minister Luis Caputo take on, I think it was like a desperate policy because Argentina was passing through like a week with a lot of financial expectation because we have elections going on October 26th. And in Argentina, elections are always they move along a lot of things and in economy most of. So I think it was a desperate policy from Minister Caputo because he needed liquidity in the markets because the pressure for the dollar, our exchange rate, is very, very strong. So in Argentina, when the dollar comes up, then our prices comes up and the inflation is a thing here. So yes, Rob Citron, I know he known Luis Caputo. He knows also Scott Bessent. He buy bonds from Argentina before all this, and all of this stuff that is going on. It seems like I don't know. It may be a financial advantage from some hedge funds. So here in Argentina, we are expecting the bailouts. We are expecting news because our minister, Luis Caputo, is now there in Washington. He's been there for 6 days. That it's a lot for a country with it is in a financial crisis. Our crisis, we have an economic crisis, like very strong economic crisis, but now we are passing through like financial crisis because we have a debt, a big debt in January with holdouts. So it's like $4 billion, and Argentine exchange foreign reserves are very, very low, even in negative rates. I would say if there's not for IMF, also dollars. So I think it was a desperate movement from Argentina, and then the people that are around Luis Caputo and also Scott Bessent took advantage of it.
So let's watch a little bit of Rob Citron. This is going to be D2, and we'll get your reaction, Eugenia.
Well, I think there's special times every 5 or 10 years where there's a really spectacular trade and investment that we then will concentrate in a meaningful way. 2013 in the dollar yen, where we made over $1 billion long dollar yen. And in fact, we discussed it quite a bit with George, and I kind of convinced George and Scott Bessent at the time to go big in that. And, Scott says I was responsible for 75% of his bonus at Soros, kind of jokingly, over that time.
So it was on the Goldman Sachs podcast, actually.
Yeah.
Ryan, what did you want to add?
Yeah. Just in case people aren't following along there, Eugenia, you can pick up on this. So Citron is saying that Scott Bessent, for the George Soros fund,
Yep.
he and Bessent collectively went in together and pulled off a trade on the yen, the same type of currency play that he's doing with Argentina, where he made $1 billion, like in a day, which we can get into the way that kind of currency trading, extracts wealth off the backs of regular people. So he and his friend Bessent are on record as having done this kind of currency play before. And so now he is back in Argentina making the same currency play. But now his friend is the Treasury Secretary and bails him out of a bad trade. What have you found? What have you discovered about this, and how are people in Argentina reacting to this? Because in some ways, this bailout probably, while it helps Citron, it also helps Argentina to stave off a bit of a financial crisis. So this level of corruption is they're like, okay, well, fine, help us out here. So yeah, what's been the response, and what have you found?
Well, I think people didn't respond to this Rob Citron currency trade because I think they are more occupied in their own economic crisis. Here, the economic crisis is a thing. I mean, salaries are very low. Jobs we have a high level of unemployment. So I don't think the regular people they have an impact of this. Yes, the markets are talking about this, but this is not new for Argentina. We have a lot of corruption crisis. Maybe you heard about José Luis Espert, the candidate of La Libertad Avanza, which is the party of the government that had links with narco traffic. So maybe that's the thing that is going on here, and what's on news, but not Rob Citron, and it's peculiar because we are talking about a currency crisis, a financial crisis, an economic crisis, and a friend of the Secretary of the Treasury Secretary of the United States, the one that is going to give the bailout to Argentina, had a friend that already ran a currency trade twice with Japan and maybe George Soros. Okay, no, so but has no impact in regular people. I will say markets are going to, or maybe already thinking about it, but not a big movement.
And Eugenia, last question from me is, could you tell us more about the political situation facing Milei right now? You mentioned the desperation in Argentina. Why is there that sense of desperation? What sort of political situation does Milei find himself in right now? And why would it be important for the United States to continue supporting who they see as an ally, and sort of an ally that finds himself maybe in some political trouble in the case of Milei?
Okay, yes. Well, in Argentina, exchange rates is very important. As I said, our exchange rates determines inflation. And in April, we have IMF 20 billion also. And that 20 billion was used to maintain our exchange rate low. Because low exchange in Argentina, it means we have no inflation. Or it's like a very important fact for inflation. So there was interventions in markets. I mean, central bank. I mean, Argentine Treasury, and then we are in. They didn't do monetary policy to keep our peso, our currency, up. So now we are here in this situation that the pressure in the markets are extremely high because we are going to an election in October 26th, and the day pass, and when you get closely to the
elections,
the pressure is also high. So
yeah, on that point, when Scott Bessent bailed out Argentina or announced that he was going to do it, he specifically said he wanted to do it in order to help Milei in the upcoming elections, which he said would then bring in more foreign capital into Argentina. How do Argentinians feel about the U.S. just saying out loud that we're trying to buy Milei the upcoming election?
Yes, the thing that is going on right now is that we don't have news about how it's going to help United States to Argentina. We know that it's a swap negotiation of 20 billion, but that's it. I mean, there's no details, there's no period of time that we are going to receive the money. It's not a money, it's a credit line.
Right.
It's a swap between central banks. But now the thing is that we are expecting news like details, and the details are not coming. So that the markets are nervous, and they passed, and Minister Caputo is still in Washington. So we are expecting the news,
right.
And if there's no news,
no news is bad.
In between the next days, there will be bad news.
Yes, interesting.
Well, Eugenia, thank you so much for coming on and breaking this down. People can check out your reporting over at Perfil, but thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.